for Japan, not off to a great start to the new year.
I mean, look, this is obviously, two tragedies coming together. This is not how you want to start the new year. Now, again, when you look at it in terms of the impact on the economy and on financial markets, thank God, it's a relatively small area that has been affected. So the impact is not going to be big in terms of, additional fiscal stimulus or monetary stimulus. It's a shock, but, for financial markets, it's not a big deal.
But the earthquake obviously was a big deal, is a big deal for a lot of people affected, those who've been displaced, those who've obviously died as well. The irony, I think, is, and talk to us about this, you think that this will actually end up benefiting Prime Minister Kishida, who, as we all know, is polling at record levels. It's never been lower during his tenure.
Yep. That's exactly right. You've seen all through last year Prime Minister Kishida's leadership being put into question. And then, of course, over the last 3 or 4 months, this big unraveling scandal, within his ruling Liberal Democratic Party. Now, with the tragedy, with the earthquake, he's there trying to rebuild his image as a strong leader. We'll see whether that's going to give him a couple of points of a positive bump, in his popularity.
Calvin, what's your take on this with regard to how investors should approach Japan in terms of the renaissance that we've been seeing and now these tragic disasters?
Well, I've always been a little bit more skeptical on the equity run-up last year, and I think a large part of the equity run-up was largely because of the fact that, Japan was the only major economy that ended 2023 with a lower real rate compared to the start of 2023. As a result of that, the Japanese yen weakened dramatically last year, and the equities market actually benefited from that, largely because of the fact that the Nikkei and the Topics was actually dominated by a lot of the exporters there. No doubt there has been some improvement in their ROEs, there's been better corporate governance, disclosure, etc. But I think a large part of that move, you really cannot discount the fact that the weak Japanese yen last year was certainly a big part, had a big part to play in that run-up.